Hey everyone, I just wanted to get everyone an update about what was going on last night. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that Ryder was in the emergency room last night. I'm going to start by saying he's fine, everything's okay. I just want to tell everyone what happened and what they said. It was our first time ever having to bring him into the emergency room, so it was nerve-wracking. But about 4:35 yesterday, he ate something he should not have. I'm not going to tell you what it was because it doesn't really matter. But Tyler got the majority of it out, but he did swallow some of it. And from having Tyler's fingers in his mouth, he threw up because it gagged him. And then about 45 minutes later, after he ate, he threw up again, and we didn't know if it was just from eating, like if he had overate or wasn't very hungry or whatever. So we weren't really too concerned yet. And then about 45 minutes after that, he threw up again. So by that point, I was alone. Tyler had left to run to the store, and it was coming out of his nose, and it concerned me. So I did call his pediatrician. I knew they were going to be closed, but I knew I was going to be transferred to an operator. So when I talked to the operator, she gave me, actually, I didn't even say anything, and she said, "Oh, here's a number for you to call." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "This is the on-call doctor." And I was like, "All right, whatever." So I called that number, and they were closed. So by this point, I mean, it wasn't a full-blown emergency. I knew he was okay because he was like responsive and he was acting normal. But I was still worried, so I was annoyed. And you know, when you're a mom and things happen to your children and people aren't taking you as seriously as you think they should, you get annoyed. So when I called them back, I was like, "I don't know if you're who I just spoke with, but you gave me a number to call and they were closed too. They're obviously not the on-call doctor." And she was just like, "Oh, that's so weird. Let me look." And was taking forever to get me another number to call. She gave me another number, and she's like, "Here, try this number." And I was like, "This number better work. I'm not being passed around from person to person trying to find someone to speak with about my son. I don't know if I need to bring him into the emergency room. I don't know what's going on." I was like, "Can you just give me a number for someone that's going to work?" I was like, "Is there a number I can call to speak with a nurse at the ER? Like, what? Give me a number that's gonna work." She was like, "Well, just try that number." So I was so annoyed. I was like, "Whatever," and I hung up. So I called that number. It did connect me with someone, and I spoke with her, and she took all Ryder's information down, and then she transferred me to poison control to talk to them before the doctor could call me back. So I talked to them, and they weren't too concerned about what he had eaten. They were just more concerned about him getting dehydrated from throwing up. So then this was going on around like 6, 7-ish, 6:30, 7-ish that this all started, that I was calling people. And so at 7:30, I put Ryder to bed because it was his bedtime. He's sleeping in a playpen right now. So I picked up that mattress, put a pillow underneath, put the mattress back down so he was kind of elevated in case he threw up again. And he didn't have a bottle before bed because I didn't want to give him a bottle in case I would upset his stomach, but I did try to give him some water, and he wanted no part of it. So a nurse practitioner called me back around 8. He was on the fence about bringing him in or not because of his age, but she said since he's sleeping, just let him sleep and wake him up every hour. Just make sure he's responsive, and if he does throw up again, to bring him in, no questions. And I was like, okay. So then I called my mom, and I was like, "This is what she said." And she's like, "Jen, I wouldn't even bother with that. I would just bring him in just to be safe rather than sorry in the end. And because do you really want to wake him up every hour? Like, that just seems silly to me to wake him up every hour but just not bring him in to be checked." And I called my cousin to see if she would meet me there, because Tyler had to work at 6 o'clock, or be at work at 6 o'clock this morning. He thought people were going to think he was an ass for not going, but I told him not to. I was like, "You're 20 minutes away. If something does go wrong and we need you there, I'll call you. You can come. Like, you have to work in the morning. I have people that can come with me." And as I was getting off the phone with my cousin, my mom's friend shows up because I wasn't answering her text messages because I was busy, like, doing other things. So then she comes in, and she's like, "All right, we're going." And I was like, "Don't worry, I'm already going." She's like, "Do you want me to go with you?" I was like, "You can stay home. I don't want to ruin your night or anything." She's like, "No, I'll go with you." So it was nice to have an adult with me, because being a young mom, it sucks, but people don't take you as seriously, and because she didn't want people to give me crap for what he had ingested and thinking that I was just not taking care of him properly type of thing, like not watching out for him. But I mean, he's a 10-month-old who recently started being mobile, and everyone knows that children put everything in their mouth that they see. So it's not just my age, it's adults all the time have problems like this. So we brought him in, and my cousin met us there, and we went in to be registered, and then she put us in a private waiting room, like a smaller waiting room. They're called the quiet room because he's little and because of the germs that were out there. They didn't want people bothering him, and we didn't want him to leave with more germs than he came in with. So we waited in there for about 45 minutes, and then it was time for us to go into the triage nurse. So we went into him, he took his vitals and everything, and then we went back to the waiting room. They came out for us, and I didn't realize how busy it was when we got there, but there were people on the beds in the hallways, like they were filled in the back. So we did get a room though, and we brought him in the back of the room, into the room, and they had me change him out of his clothes into a little Johnny so they could have easier access to his stomach and stuff. So then the nurse came in, was talking to us about what had happened, how much he ate, and all those things. And then a little bit later the doctor came in, and he listened to his heart, listened to his stomach, felt his stomach, and said he was gonna go make a phone call, and then he'd come back in and talk to us. While we were waiting for the doctor to come back in, Ryder, being himself, was like flirting with everyone through the window because it was a glass door, if you could see in the pictures that I posted. Nurses and doctors that weren't even had anything to do with us were coming in to say hello, and the lady who registered us came back and to see how he was doing and everything, and she went and actually got him this little prize bag, a little teddy bear, and a book, and some bubbles, and then a car seat safety bookmark. But I thought that was really cute that they gave him that, so he was playing with those things. So then the doctor came back in, and he said that he had spoke with poison control also, and that since it had been so long, that any effects that would have happened would have started by then, and he must have just got it all out of his system. His body must have rejected it right away, and that's why he was throwing up, and he wasn't concerned, and gave me the paperwork saying to call my doctor, his doctor in the morning for a follow-up appointment, and that there's no medications needed. I don't need to really take any precautions. So I called his doctor this morning, and they said that he didn't need to come in for a follow-up because he was perfectly normal. He went to bed last night, woke up a few times. One of the times he had like a little bottle of water, and then went right back to sleep, and he ate normal this morning. He's been perfectly fine, perfectly normal. So they said don't even bother coming in. If anything does happen though, call, and anything like that. So he's fine. It obviously wasn't a very fun night. You can tell I have no makeup on. I did not sleep well last night. Obviously I feel horrible that this incident even happened. Obviously Tyler feels horrible as well, but it happens, and I know that it happens. I know I'm not a bad mom for it. I did the best I could bringing him in there, and I thought I was very responsible with bringing him into the hospital and doing everything that I did. So I know that I'm still a good mom, even though he did get a hold of something he shouldn't have, and we had to go through that last night. But like I said, he's a child, it happens. I was planning on doing a day in the life today. I really was gonna do it too. So I will hopefully do that later on this week, maybe like Thursday or something. I'll try to get the day in the life done. But yeah, so I hope you all have a great day. If you have any questions for me about what happened, that I will answer. There's some questions I won't answer, like I'm not going to tell you what he ate. You don't need to know. He's fine. It was nothing horrible. It was not like chemicals or anything like that. It was just something a child shouldn't eat. So I hope you all have a great day. Bye guys.